Hello and welcome back to episode 14 of the Fallacy Fanatics podcast. For those new listeners, my name is Ezra and I'm accompanied by my co-host David.
Thank you, Ezra. We have quite an interesting fallacy to discuss today. Hasty generalization.
Ah yes, the Hasty Generalization Fallacy. It's quite an easy slip to make, but still a logical error nonetheless. David, would you provide our listeners with a description of the Hasty Generalization Fallacy?
Why, sure. The hasty generalization fallacy occurs when one makes a general conclusion or claim without the experience or knowledge to support it. They assume, for example, that because something fits under a certain description, everything related also fits under that description.
Excellent. I did some interesting research last night and unearthed a fantastic example of this fallacy in one of the greatest works of literature on Earth, East of Eden.
Oh, beautiful. Would you mind sharing this riveting example?
Of course. Listeners at home, if you happen to have a copy of East of Eden nearby, go ahead and open to page 320 in chapter 25. This fallacy is committed in the novel when the character Kate claims that in the whole world there's only evil and folly.
Fascinating. Does she even have the knowledge or experience to make such a broad claim about every person in the world?
That's exactly it. She spent most of her life living in a whorehouse. She spends every day dealing with the scum of the earth. How can she claim every person in the world is just like that small sample of people she sees?
You are absolutely correct. The whorehouse primarily attracts deplorable people to her. But this doesn't mean everyone around the world is exactly like the typical whorehouse person. Along with that, on page 318, she claims she would have killed Sam Hamilton if she could have. How could anyone hate Sam Hamilton? Especially her, when he spent days ensuring she was happy and healthy.
Excellent point, David. Sam Hamilton is one of the most compassionate, kind-hearted humans that she's ever acquainted with. Yet she has the audacity to say everyone's evil. Truly a logical blunder if I've ever seen one. Kate doesn't have the merits to speak about the whole world when she's seen a small fragment of it. And Sam Hamilton is proof enough to dismantle her logical error.
Yes, along with the fact that she could never like Adam. All Adam did was pour his heart out for her and do everything possible to make her feel loved and adored. So, by her claim, Adam is also evil and folly.
Wow, when you put it that way, it truly shows how hasty Kate was to generalize every person under one category. Her claim loses tremendous credibility once you see the fallacious nature of her point.
Well, I'd say we dove into this fallacy as deep as possible, wouldn't you?
Oh yes, I just wish we had more time to show our listeners more examples of this fascinating fallacy. But something isn't beautiful because it lasts, so we must bring this episode to a close.
Yes. I just want to thank all our listeners, new and old, for joining us today to discuss the hasty generalization fallacy. Next week, we'll be discussing the red herring fallacy. Sounds a little fishy. Also, if you enjoyed today's episode or would like to be notified for when our next one releases, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and as well on iTunes.
And if you really enjoyed today's episode, be sure to leave a review. But make sure you aren't hasty with any generalizations in your review. Till next time, Ezra signing off.
Goodbye.